So, my kids have been coughing for about a week. It's just a cough, nothing else, but it's kind of a deep-seated one. We've been taking care of it. Their bodies are clearly fighting it. However, we have run out of elderberry syrup. And I don't know about you, but I want really good homemade elderberry syrup, and I'm not willing to pay $12 a bottle for it. So, it's really easy to make, and you can make a big old batch of it. I got this recipe on the Hungry Mouse blog. I've adapted it a little bit because I wanted less honey. But what I'm going to show you today is how to make your own elderberry syrup and then a way to store such a big amount. And then what we do is I've linked it in my other, when you feel yucky video, but we take some every day, and then when we're fighting something, we take more. So we've been making elderberry tea, which is just you take the elderberries. Here they are. They're these little dried up berries here. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, there you go, little dried elderberries. Obviously getting them from a good source. I find them on Amazon, like from Frontier. You want a good organic elderberry. You can usually find a pound bag. The price does vary depending on the season, and obviously it's getting a lot more popular. I'm sure if you've done anything in the natural health world lately, you've noticed elderberry is all over the place. But you can also just brew this like a tea, like you would, pour boiling water over and let it steep for 3 to 5 minutes. So, however, the syrup, the benefit of the syrup is it has all of these other amazing immune boosting, junk fighting things in it, like cinnamon. Get the Ceylon cinnamon if you can. So, got my pot here. Just drop these in the pot. So, 3 or 4 sticks of cinnamon. I kind of bust them up a little bit because I feel like the more surface area is exposed, then the better the steeping capabilities. So, 3 or 4 sticks of cinnamon. Cloves, whole cloves. Amazing antioxidant power, amazing immune boosting power. And I think the recipe was like 20 to 30 cloves, so I'm gonna say a handful about like that. Okay? Ooh, those smell good. And star anise. So these little beauties, if you haven't seen them, let's find a good one. Here we go. They're in the shape of a star. This is different from the other anise, like the fennel and stuff. These are star anise. They're found in Chinese spice and some other things. So I'm going to throw in a good handful of these as well. And they bust up into little pods. That's okay. So a good amount of those. These taste amazing. These smell amazing. And awesome for immune fighting power. And you can find so many things on elderberries and why they're so great for immune fighting stuff. Then the last thing in the recipe was ginger. I took the root and all I did was I sprayed it with my vinegar and lemon oil outer spray, kind of clean any dirt off. And then I'm just going to slice this up thin as possible, because again, the thinner you can get it, then the more surface area is exposed and the more you can, the hot water is going to extract it out. But it doesn't have to be perfect, so just get it sliced. You don't even have to peel it because we're going to strain all this, so it's going to go in the pot. So I'm going to cut your first slices and then flip it on the side so that it's more stable. So I'm going to keep cutting these. Obviously, the ginger will make it a little bit spicy, gingery. So if you don't want it that much, then you can just do a little bit less ginger. Or if you really love ginger, add more. Then, so I got a 1 pound bag of Frontier Co-op whole organic elderberries. It's the Sambucus nigra, N-I-G-R-A. This is about 4 heaping cups worth, because I measured it out, and each heaping cup is about 4 ounces. So if you get 16 ounces, obviously it's 4. So you could do this recipe 2 times with this bag, or do it 1 time and then keep using this for your elderberry tea or whatever. But I've got 1 cup, 2 cups. Okay, that's it. You could actually, you know what? I'm going to throw in some black pepper. Hang on, I'm going to steal, because black pepper is amazing for immune boosting. I totally forgot about this. So I'm going to steal from my little pepper mill here and throw in a good handful of black peppercorns. Okay, Sorry, peppermill. And then the recipe is 13 cups of water. This holds 12, so I'm going to pour this in. So I've got my 13 cups of water. All right, turn it on. We're going to let this come to a, come on, there we go. So we're going to let this come to a rolling boil and then turn it off and just let it, or no, sorry. We're going to let this come to a rolling boil and then turn it down and let it simmer for an hour on low with the lid on, kind of just cracked so a little bit of steam can escape. And then we're going to turn it off and just let it sit probably all night. And then I'll show you what to do next. Here we are. Another day, another frizzy bun, another day trying to care well for my family. So I have made the elderberry syrup. And I did what I talked about, where I let it come to a rolling boil, turned it down to simmer for about an hour, and I just turned the heat off. I put the lid on and let it sit all night. So today is the next day from when the last video was done. So here we go. We have beautiful, dark burgundy syrup. I have set up here a good wide cheesecloth because we're going to need to kind of strain it through my colander. And then, you know, whatever you have, I use a Lexan or a big bowl. But I like this. Now, there's going to be a lot of good stuff in here. Also, let's start pouring here and see if I can pour while I talk. Okay. Also, to add the honey now, I might need to heat this back up again because it's cooled down. Obviously, if you're doing this all in one day, you could just let the elderberry syrup cool a little bit and then add the honey. But we'll see. I want to squeeze all the goodness and stuff that I can out of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure my cheesecloth is good, and I'm actually going to scrape all of this. I might need to do it in a couple batches into my cheesecloth and then give it a good squeezing. You can see there's a lot of goobers in here. Okay, I've squeezed about, I think, as much as I can out of this. Now, the good thing is this stuff can go right into your compost bin because it's just the berries and the cinnamon and all that. I haven't added the sugar or the honey yet, so still good to go. Okay, reuse the cheesecloth if I can, and next batch. I finished straining it all out. I squeezed as much of it as I could, and I have, it looks like about 2 liters of liquid left over. So the original recipe that I used called for adding 4 cups of raw honey. Obviously you get all the great antibodies, all the benefits of the raw honey. It's really amazing. 4 cups was a little bit too much for us. It was a little bit too sweet. So I started adding about 2.5 to 3 cups. Now, the good news is that one of these little Costco bears of the organic raw honey, 1 pound, 8 ounces, this is about 3 cups in itself. So, you could just add this whole bear. So what I'm going to do now, oh, my kiddos are up playing upstairs. So what I'm going to do now is pour the honey back in the pot and add just a couple ladles full of the syrup to warm it up just a little bit. I don't want to like cook the honey again, but I just want to warm it up and then add it back in, and then I'll show you what I do next. Okay, I have warmed up the honey and just enough of the syrup, and call me silly, but I don't like anything wasted in the bottle that I use. So I'm going to pour some of the warm syrup, well, I'm going to pour most of it back in, and then pour some of the warm syrup in here. Beautiful. Okay, here's my little trick for getting extra like honey or whatever out of the container is, ready? Check in. Hey, that looks pretty good. Now, options for storing your elderberry. So, you could totally reuse this. Or if you want to give some to a friend, like put your syrup in here and reuse this. The top as great as what I'm going to show you in a moment, but you know, you can always like squeeze some out into a spoon or try and squirt it or whatever. But yeah, you could reuse this. I'm gonna go rinse this out with water and drink all this because there's good stuff still in there. My preferred method is putting it in squeezy bottles, elderberry syrup. So I'm gonna pour some of this into squeezy bottles, but this will stay for a good couple of months in your refrigerator. However, I've made a lot here, and that's more than I need. So I'm gonna keep a bottle or two in the refrigerator, and every morning we just do a little here. Just a little squirt. However, to store the whole amount, what I do is I take my ice cube trays, which are actually the ones left over from when Cameron was a baby and I was making all of his food, and I'd make a whole bunch and freeze it. I use the same technique. I do this for chicken stock. I do this for like limes and lemons. I'll get a big old bag of organic limes and lemons, zest them, juice them, freeze them in here, and then I've got portions to go because these are about 1 ounce portions. Or I'll do the same with the elderberry syrup. Here we go. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, I've got my tray ready. I'll fill up whatever else I need more and go slide those in the freezer. One more option. Now, you might be thinking, hey, clove, cinnamon, ginger, star anise, these are all doTERRA essential oils. And many of them are in the On Guard blend, which is known for its immunity boosting properties. Yes! You could totally add your essential oils to this syrup and be getting them daily. The way the oils work with the extract from the fresh spices, they work synergistically together, like just extra boosting power in your body. However, because I'm using the plastic squeeze bottles, I don't want to put the oils in here. Let me see the bottom. Yeah, this is the number 4, and oils can go in a 1 or 2, but I don't want to put them in here. However, other options are you could use a glass bottle and put your elderberry syrup in here and put your essential oils in here, and that would be great. I happen to like to reuse salad dressing bottles. They've got usually a good lid. Again, you can kind of pour some out in a spoon. Or I've got a friend who's not feeling well, so I'm going to take her a care package. So I've got a little bundle of oils to take. I pulled off some of my pickled garlic. You can go see that recipe. And again, I'm reusing a bottle. And I'm going to pour her some elderberry syrup and take her a care package. I'm also going to get some bone broth because I've got some of that in the freezer. All good things. All right, so I'm going to take her some of this. Now, I would recommend for daily use, do anywhere from a teaspoon to a tablespoon. Like I said, we just kind of do a big squirt every day. If you are fighting something, you're going to want to do more than that. You're going to want to do at least a teaspoon to a tablespoon. Say that 5 times fast. About 3 times a day or so, which, since I've got kids who are coughing, yeah. I need a kiddo! Here's what we do. So we've already done our garlic for the day. We've done our vitamins. Kiddos open their mouths. 1 good squirt and go. And the squeeze bottle makes it really easy. Okay, I hope that this was helpful. Like I said, you can buy good elderberry syrup. Make sure to look for the good ingredients. Making it wasn't too bad. I made a little bit of a mess here, so I'm going to clean that up. But I've got a whole amount that's going to last in my freezer for a good long time. Plus, I've got more berries to do for teas or another batch. If you have any questions, please leave those in the comments. Any other things that you would like to see. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. Thank you.